We learned our times tables and got separated into reading groups. During music, Chris Cargill was crowned our major minor king. But he was soon usurped by his twin, the evil Cortland. By the end of Tuesday, we were the seniors of the lower school. I finally had final cut, Mike Tomey story, and Abowitz couldn't do a thing about it. Science got interesting when Mr. Duarte mixed one of his own pellets in with the owls. Oddly enough, that group still found a mouse skeleton. On Wednesday, we were thrown into the world of Tasgenian metaphors. The Canada goose, the Pythagorean theorem, Phil the lobsterman, and the purple cabbage provided us all with limitless inspiration. Needless to say, things were different in 5th grade. We were at the mercy of a new set of teachers. We were asked to turn in homework. We got 4 new kids, 4 studs. Ola, Darian, Adam, and Billy Janover. We almost got one more, but instead we were left with the 4 first names that still make our fingers tingle. Aaron, Ashley, Marshall, Bob. We then began 6th grade and had a ball. Rolling Thunder heard our cry when we were forced to spend 3 days with the George Jackson Academy on a wilderness trip. May Mandeep Singh rest in peace. And in the funniest memory I have of collegiate, David Wilkes body slammed a cello. I kid you not, David fell badly, but Mr. Lestraps kindly turned his blind eye to the wreckage. Many of us became men on a Wednesday afternoon, as bar mitzvah season quickly changed our lives. At the time, I was not built for the hora. A portly young man with a sweet tooth, I had trouble with the chocolate fountains, the neckties, and the dance floor. Many of you felt my pain, looking at you, Jeff Wilkes. But others capitalized on it. Nissen moved well to hip-hop, and Linfield was built for slow songs. Still, I danced with a few cuties on those fine evenings, and all too often the party went from 6 all the way to midnight. Things got even crazier during school. We had sports teams and final exams. I never got above a B in either. Plus, no one felt safe in the lunchroom, as Henry MacArthur's ridicule knew no bounds. Finally, Wednesday afternoon in 8th grade provided us our first taste of entitlement. We didn't get away with much, though, as Miss Bell made men of us boys. By then, Alvin, Will Grant, Yuri, David Yan, Bill Janover, and Max Toman had joined us due to the gigantic void left by Carrie Jones. Alvin and Grant sang us the ballad of Bubba Grandeu. At first, this and their other songs seemed impressive, but later we found out they stole all but the nonsensical lyrics from Madonna. The other 2 were even more controversial. Yan took away Sam Bresnick's only claim to fame, height, and Yuri made us all look like morons. Hump day had passed, and when a new day dawned, 9th grade slapped us all across the face. Along with 11 new kids, William included, Miss Hanson joined our grade in entering the upper school, and she loved everything about us from day 1. Things definitely changed for us. Grades started to matter, which gave Mr. Rubin way too much leverage. The work was more demanding, but our classes and teachers were more dynamic. Yes, biology and Mr. Wong intrigued us all, but you all know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our geometry teacher, whose name I am not permitted to say. I cannot begin to describe him to younger grades. I dare not make fun of his teaching style, physique, general disposition, or table manners in front of his colleagues, and uncovering the truth behind he and Dustin Satloff's sat-back contract may require legal action. So I decided it best to leave him out entirely. Some things didn't change, though. Maybe it was something in the water, or maybe it was the fertility pills hidden inside the Munster bagels, but French teachers came and went like they had since middle school. And even though school took over my entire life starting that Thursday morning, I truly believe it was the start of a great 4 years, an endeavor that improved and matured us all. There was a fire drill on Thursday afternoon. That was 10th grade. TGIF had a whole new meaning as junior year began. You all remember the constant work, the SAT prep, and the terrors of applying to college looming at all times. If it weren't for the constant influx of cheerful show tunes from Dr. Malioni, I doubt I would have made it through the year. But we did make it through, and we came out much stronger than we went in. We learned a lot about each other, and our grade finally came together, especially after we drove up to Shelter Island. In fact, I think the 4-time champion collegiate basketball team owes a lot to Shelter Island. and to Matthew Roth. Finally, Friday nights were filled with spirits that cheered our team to victory. Friday afternoon was our turn to show Collegiate what we were made of. With Nissen at the helm, we made use of our final year. At first, though, our future was uncertain. Overwhelmed with college apps, we rarely made time for fun or games. Some just couldn't take the stress. After his year of fine women and tanning, Jamie broke out in hives upon his first glance on the Common App. But we all calmed down after a while. We slowly recuperated and got back to our roots. We cared, and we shared. Cared about each other, and if you're Jesse, you shared taxis with girls. We then emerged as a talented bunch. The debate team, with outstanding speaker Hunter Ford, competed valiantly at Yale, and the Science Olympiads made states and traveled to West Point. Eric Judge finally decided to get a freaking job. And the basketball team made us all so proud when they brought back a 4th consecutive championship. And finally, let us not forget, we produced Upper West, the duo that has been called sultry meets punk, meets rap, meets tectonique, meets dubstep, meets flogenic, meets a lot of criticism. To top it off, one more extraordinary thing happened, joking aside. When Carlo broke the science last year, I'd never seen something more moving or inspirational. This is not something to be overlooked. It is rare. It is powerful. It is a testament both to the strength of Carlo as well as to our entire school. We hope we've risen to the occasion, and we thank you for your example. I never thought that we would be seniors, and I certainly never imagined that we'd graduate. Not because we're not smart, we're geniuses. And not because we're bad people, we're saints. But because 2011 was always the year that was miles away. That brings us to this moment, Friday afternoon of our final day at school. Collegiate has made us who we are today, and we will strive to live by the values we've learned here. We leave Collegiate with the hopes of a fun weekend ahead, a weekend that should last the rest of our lives. Thank you.